Hey folks, welcome back to Dig Drive DIY. Well, I've got a little bit of a project today. No, it's not Louie, it's higher up. A few weeks ago during a big windstorm, a piece of siding up there on the top of the barn got ripped loose and I need to see if I can get it fixed. But I thought this would be a great opportunity to tell you a little bit about the history of this barn, what I know of it before we lived here, what I've done with it since we've lived here, and any future plans I might have for it. So we'll do a little snooping around inside the barn. But right now, I need to round up some tools and see if I can elevate, get up there and get that screwed back down.
Dig Drive DIY.
Okay, first thing I'm gonna need are some screws, and hopefully I've got some with red heads on them. A lot of white and silver ones. Like these are the only red ones I've got. I've got some 2-inch zinc screws that I might need, and I've got some 1-inch red ones. Fortunately, I think it's high enough that no one will notice a zinc-headed screw way up there, but maybe we can, between the two, we'll get it done without buying any screws, because I got tons of screws. Don't need to take them all up there. All right, I got my tools, and that is actually a pretty long ways up there. And a ladder seems sketchy and scary, so I opted for a cheat code. So for those longtime viewers of the channel, you've obviously seen this truck before. This belongs to my cousins. They're farmers. But there's a pretty good history behind this truck and me. So nearly 20 years ago now, I started working for a company that worked with GPS, base stations, and guidance for tractors and ag equipment. We tested the auto steer systems that they installed in combines and tractors and sprayers, and the self-guiding automatic steering systems are controlled or guided by GPS. So as part of the business that I worked for, we started installing GPS base stations. And these were base stations that we would install at a local elevator or co-op and then self-service to farmers in the area. So my old boss bought this bucket truck so that we could use on the installations, and we went all over the place. We covered almost the entire state of Illinois, and I have ridden and co-piloted this truck all the way to Oregon. We did installations in Idaho, Mississippi, Kansas, you name it. We were all over. So I've got a good history with this truck. When we got out of the GPS base station installation business, my former boss sold this truck to my cousins, the Rumkeys, and I had a little bit of influence on that. But we've since used the truck for Harlan days all the time, and whenever we need something like getting a drone out of a tree, I've been fortunately able to access this truck and use it whenever I need it, which is a great resource to have, and I'm forever grateful and thankful for that to my cousins. But today, on this instance, we've got a piece of loose siding on the top of my barn. It's way up there. And on a side note, this is also the same farmers and family members that we bought our house and our property from. So it's kind of all tied together. But today I think this is going to be just the ticket to get up here and try to fix this loose piece of siding. And it wasn't any too soon, because this thing is starting to flop more and more the longer I let it go. Like cedar shakes. Isn't that interesting? That's a pretty good sign of how old this barn is. A lot of wasp nests underneath there too. I think I'm gonna need a hammer. I'm gonna pound some of these in. And that'll give me a chance to talk about this barn a little bit. Okay, so this barn on our property is actually what's called a grainery. It was used to store grain. And back when it was built, this would have been the primary spot to store any shelled grain. Now it could have been a corn crib at one time and had open slats in the side that allowed eared corn that was still on the cobs. You know, most recently this was a granary. It stored shelled grain, meaning beans that were picked from the pods, or corn where the kernels were picked from the cob. And they've retrofitted this building so that it would more easily hold grain actually. The tall part of the building that I'm repairing it looks like a cupola. A lot of people refer to it as a cupola, but it's actually the grain elevator that goes clear to the top. Rung. We're up here in the top of what we always call the cupola, even though I don't know if it technically is a cupola, but this is where the elevator would have been. And here's the buckets that carry the grain. And they would have went overhead. There was a big electric motor up here right behind this wooden pulley. This wooden pulley is really cool. But this was driven by a belt, obviously. And it drove this elevator. And you dump the grain out down there at the bottom in that, underneath that grate. And then the elevator would carry it all the way up to the top, where it would dump into this chute right here. And then this chute had a spout on the end of it. And the spout could be directed into the different bins in the top of the, the upstairs of the barn. It's pretty wild to think how high up this is. I'm just standing on this ladder, probably not smart. But I always thought it'd be cool to utilize this little space up here, like have this little office or something up here up high. But I haven't done much of anything with any of this since I've lived here. In 20 some years, this has all just been the same. So yeah, not much going on. This is technically the third level of the barn, and I've got some siding and building materials up here, some pipes. That's the styrofoam that we use to insulate the shop. It's been up here ever since we got done with the shop. I've got some miscellaneous lumber, 2x12s. So yeah, here's the end of that spout. Let me walk over here without falling down. Here's the spout that would have directed the grain from the elevator into the different compartments down below onto the second level, because we're standing above the second level where the grain was stored. So you could turn this spout and direct the grain to different areas. And I think you could extend it out too. So it's contracted right now, and it would telescope out to reach the other ends of the building. Hopefully this is coming across okay. I put the garage door in there and the opening on the end, but I'll show you that when we go down to the second level. Here's the windows. They're in the peak of the barn. And there is lights up here, but they don't work. Third floor. Second floor. This is where the grain would have been stored. Probably filled up almost to these joists at the top. And there were holes in the floor. They're covered up with just a metal plate right there. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 compartments up here, and they had divider walls in between them so that you could have individual compartments. Here you can see where the wall was. I cut that one out for the garage door. But this wall right here had 2x4s, native 2x4s that were sticking up here, and then boards on the walls. Actually cut and removed all that stuff out in the early 2000s so that I could have storage up here on the second level. And then we used those 2x4s and the planks that were on the walls up here. We used those to build our island in the house. The 2x4s became the island, and then the planking became the floor in our hallway. Yeah, somewhere in the early 2000s, I cut this hole in the top of the second level, put a garage door in here, and then that way I could lift things up for off-season storage. It's been a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I have made use of this space over time a lot. I mean, stuff comes up and down and in and out of here all the time. Longtime viewers of the channel have seen me put stuff in here all the time. But if I ever do get a building put up out here, then hopefully that'll eliminate the need to do this. But we're getting by with what we got for now. So this is second level, grain storage, now converted to tractor attachment storage and miscellaneous junk. But I'm ready to try something different, really. But all right, I'll show you downstairs, and that'll be it on the little barn tour. And here is level 1. So this is the original barn. We know that it was, I think it was built by Otis Bolton, and he had this elevator at least installed. Otis Bolton, Antwerp, Ohio. And this would have been a huge, major farm investment back in the day when this was put in here. And my grandma, who passed away 14 years ago, remembered Otis Bolton, but we're talking close to going on 100 years ago, probably, real close, maybe 90. Anyway, this is the grain elevator that was the central focus of this building and the whole purpose of this building. And gravity wagons would be brought in here. And a traditional gravity wagon has a discharge chute on the side. And they'd pull up here and the grain would shoot out the side into that little pit. The concrete probably wasn't in here at the time. But anyway, the elevator scoops would go through there and then obviously go to the top and then be discharged into that chute like I pointed out when we were up there. And then grain would be filled up overhead, and then you can see one of the spouts. That's where one of the spouts would have been. I guess I took all the spouts out. There used to be little chutes that hung down. They hung down lower than the floor joists, so I took them all out. But you would open that chute right there, and the grain from up above would fall through, and then you could fill in here. And then this was a spout that came from the inside. These side walls, I cut this hole in here. These side walls were clear full of grain as well. So you can imagine how much grain could be held in here. You know what, on second thought, instead of imagining, I decided to do the math. Overall, I think this entire building can hold about 5,000 bushels of grain. Over half of that is overhead up above. About 2,800 bushels could be stored overhead, and that would equate to about 150,000 to 160,000 pounds, depending on how much you heaped it up. And that's like 3 semi-loads of grain. Can you imagine 3 semi-trucks parked overhead? And then the sides could hold another couple thousand bushel themselves. So as I was walking around, you might have noticed just how well built this building is, and that's exactly why, because it would support an incredible amount of weight overhead and in the sidewalls. So we didn't want it to burst out on either side, and of course we didn't want the top caving down. So I'm impressed. 5,000 bushel in here, that'd have been a pretty good harvest back in the day. All right, we'll go back to the rest of the video. There was a little trap door. There's one still right here. That door would open, and then the grain would run out on the floor. And I guess you had to scoop it up off the floor to get it loaded. I don't know. Or you probably put it in an elevator. You'd have it flow into an elevator and then park the elevator so that you could load vehicles or load wagons or trucks. But this is the inside of the barn. I put those lights in there. This was my workshop for a long time. And I cut this opening in the side, built a header, and took out a few studs so that I could access this space. And then I had a toolbox, actually my red Craftsman toolbox that's in the shop. The toolbox sat there in that opening. And then you can see there's a countertop under each side that's buried. I had a pegboard up there. So this was my workshop. And this is where I restored my F-350 dump truck, the 1995 F-350 that I had. I did a lot of work in here. I mean, this was my main work area. And so that's part of the reason why I had the door cut in overhead, is because I didn't have room in here when this was my workshop. I would stash stuff up above and use this as best I can. I also cut a door in this side too. There's a handle and a door right here. I used to have my air compressor in there behind that wall. And then there's also a separate compartment down at this end where I had a bunch of scrap metal stored, and it's just a mess right now. So this barn needs a lot of attention, and I've got some hopes for it in the future, but mainly just storage. there's two things I'd like to do. I'd like to re-site it possibly one day to make it match the other buildings, and I would like to have an overhead door. Those sliding doors, they're difficult. They move up and down with the weather, and it'd be nice just to have an overhead door and then utilize this to park. I'd probably park my truck in here, to be honest. The girls can all park in the garage, and then I'd park over here. A lot of people suggested that I should tear this barn down to build a new barn, and we talked about it. We considered it. It's understandable, but to replace this building, just to tear it down would be a heck of a job. To replace it would be super expensive, and it still has value to me. I mean, it makes a nice storage area. You can get quite a bit in here, as you saw. I've got it all sitting in the driveway. So I'll still utilize it. An overhead door would make it just way better, but it's probably gonna stick around, and we're gonna probably put a new building out back out of the way. So, okay, I'm gonna take you back to when I was patching up that siding, see if I can get that job done and move on to the next thing. I've been carrying this handy dandy Leatherman since Christmas. Oh, this might just work. It's certainly not perfect, but I think it'll get us by for now. You know, ideally, we've been talking about re-siding this barn. There's some eave work that needs to be done and some other stuff like that to try to keep the birds out. And we need a new roof in places, so I think it's probably time that we looked at having that done. This will be a temporary permanent fix for now, don't you think? But hopefully you enjoyed hearing about the history of this barn a little bit, seeing the little repair we did here. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you. Nice little repair. I want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. Be sure to share it with your friends. If you know someone that would like this kind of stuff, send it their way. Let them know to check it out. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for clicking. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, time to get down.